if a couple shows up to something and they're not in a couple's costume, it makes me think that they're like fighting.
Yeah.
or
I guess I'm just bacon now by myself.
that
No. I
sounds great.
wanted to be bacon.
I wanted to be just bacon.
I wanted
You're
to be
right.
just jelly. little Leonardo half Caprio.
Yeah, I did 3/4 for me.
You had 3/4 Caprio?
Yeah.
We're really starting to. I don't think we can use his name anymore. Leonardo
Three-quarter
3/4 Caprio.
Caprio?
That doesn't have the same ring to it as DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Half Caprio was pushing it.
Half DiCaprio?
Half DiCaprio.
Half Caprio?
Yeah.
Is that what were you were saying decaf. You were fully into DiCaprio though.
Yeah, before when we were
When we were doing full decaf,
decaf,
and then we started doing half calf. Were you still saying half DiCaprio?
I just said Leonardo half Caprio. You don't have to say half DiCaprio. It's half caffeinated.
Leonardo half Caprio.
Get it right.
But it's DiCaprio. Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio. That's his name.
That's
right?
what I'm saying.
I can't even remember his own name.
But it's Leonardo
But it's like DiCaprio made sense because it's DiCaprio.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then half Caprio,
Doesn't make as much sense.
it doesn't make sense at
You have
all.
to say
but
half
it has
decaf.
the same amount of syllables.
You have to say half
But
decaf.
3/4 Caprio.
3/4
I feel
half.
like we just need to come up with
3/4 Caprio.
3/4 Caprio.
And 1/4 DiCaprio.
We're in there. Everyone's gone.
It's 1/4 DiCaprio. That's my final answer. It's
Now
1/4.
it's 1/4
It's
DiCaprio.
1/4 DiCaprio. Because
Oh,
I did
can't wait for
3/4
some
calf.
Leonardo 1/4 DiCaprio.
Because I did 3/4 calf, 1/4 decaf.
This is way too meta for me, and I made the joke.
You don't understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
I can explain it again.
Please don't.
If you want. If you're still not getting it, I can explain it again.
I think I'm getting it.
I just need to wake up.
Yeah, we just got to wake up. Hopefully that extra quarter calf reel will wake you up a little bit.
I hope so. So how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm really, really good. I have a lot of energy. I'm feeling really good.
Yeah. I almost passed out on the couch while you're making these DiCaprio coffees.
I know. So do you want to tell them how you're really feeling?
Oh, not doing good.
You're not doing good.
I don't feel good. My kid keeps getting sick every goddamn day.
Yeah.
And then gets me sick.
Yeah.
I made her cry today because I was just like, can you show me how to cover your mouth? Like, show me how to cover your mouth like Dracula when you're coughing. And then she's like, I'll show it to you on the day. Like she's an actor. Like, I'll just do it on the day.
I'll do it later.
I'll do it on the night.
I'll do it later.
And I was like, no, just show me. Because right now you just coughed all over your own waffles.
Yeah.
Can you just show me that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then she ran away crying. I felt bad.
I don't think you should feel bad for that.
I know. She knows how to make me feel bad, though.
Yeah.
She did it on purpose.
She's manipulative.
She is. She's 4 years old, manipulative. Yeah, she asked me if I she gets sick all the time. She had a hand, foot, mouth like 3 times this year.
Yeah, she gets sick a lot.
And I was like, you gotta stop putting your hands in your mouth, man. And she
puts everything in her
everything
mouth.
in her mouth. And last night she made me like this Play-Doh thing, and she's like, I'm just gonna take a pretend bite. Puts the whole thing in her mouth.
Yeah.
To take the pretend bite.
Yeah.
And I was like, stop putting that in your mouth. Just don't put that in your mouth. You can take a pretend bite without it going in your mouth. She's like, okay, let me try again. Puts it in her mouth.
Yeah.
And then she's like, Dad, did you ever put your hands in your mouth when you were young? And I was like, yeah, of course. And she's like, why did you stop? And I said, because I was done being sick all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, it sucks that she's sick all the time.
It's a lot. She's sick so much.
She constantly has I call it a residual cough. I don't know if it's coming or going. It's just like she constantly has a cough.
That's crazy.
She's fine enough to go to daycare, which is great.
Yeah.
She's always just a little bit. She's always just getting everyone else sick, is what she's doing.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Plus, she just puts her hands in our mouths without asking.
I know. She just shoves her hand in my mouth, and I'm like, dude. I literally don't have time to.
She wipes her
it.
nose and then goes wham right in your mouth.
And I don't have time to block it.
I know, it's hard.
It's hard, man.
It's real hard.
It's a hard knock life.
And then I got, it was my worst part, but I want to do the best part.
Let's welcome them.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
welcome them to the podcast. Do you want to? Do you think that's a good idea?
Oh, no, I'll do that too.
Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, welcome to Sam and Rye Do Talking. I'm Sam.
She's Rye.
And that's Bobby behind the camera. And let's do some talking.
We're going to do some talking.
Let's start talking. And
Not
see
to Bobby.
Let's how far we can go. Let's see how far we can get this.
Yeah.
We're a little tired today.
Can I tell you how mad I am at Bobby for wrecking the, for making us look so dull in our YouTube thing that we put out?
Yeah, you're really mad about the lighting.
I'm really mad about
I thought it
the
looked
lighting.
okay. I wasn't mad about it. You're really
I wasn't mad
mad
about it until I looked into it a little bit and realized how easy it was to fix the lighting on it, and Bobby didn't do anything.
Oh, like even with the whiteboard situation?
Yeah, it'd been fine.
Really?
Would have been fine.
Why don't you do it next time?
I'm going to have to take that over. Yeah, thanks, Bobby. No, I'll do that too.
I guess we could try and hire somebody else. If anybody else is looking for a
Free
film
job.
a film free job, reach out because we need help.
I think it's going to go okay. I figured out the editing for next time. It's going to go a lot faster.
You do the editing?
I have to start the editing. Did you see what happened last time?
Yeah.
Garbage. So yeah, I'm going to have to do the editing for only the YouTube. But he's still going to do everything else.
Yeah, the podcast is easy because there's no editing.
Yeah, and
he just
can't
has
even
to
do that.
post it.
He's supposed to be editing it. Is he not?
No, he just posts it.
My God.
He's like, it looks good to me.
It's not visual. It's not being recorded, Bobby.
He's like, there's a lot of sound waves happening.
Yeah, looks
it
like it's up
good.
there. Yep, it's fine. We gotta get a new guy when we can afford him. Luckily, he's free.
Yeah, Bobby's
it's the only good thing I can say about him.
Yeah, free one out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want to do best and worst?
Sure, what's your best?
My best, okay, hold on. My best part was getting sushi and watching my brother's basketball game.
That was fun.
And he won his first game. He won the first game. So that was awesome. And yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That was my best part.
That was good. Yeah, he won the first game, and he played really well. He got player of the game.
In the second game.
He got player of the game,
lost.
and he got a Mr. Mike's gift card, so he could get a steak. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't he do that? He got a gift card for that, didn't he?
He got a gift card for Mr.
And
Mike's.
he's a big boy. They call him the Mountain.
Yeah.
El Mountino, or whatever it is in French.
La Montagne.
La Montagne. And other good news is that he got $100 his first game for hitting a 3-pointer. He doesn't usually hit 3-pointers.
Yeah, my grandma pays him $100 for every 3-pointer, so.
I don't know why that guy's not shooting more threes if he gets $100 per three.
Because he wasn't allowed. But I will be expecting him to pay for dinner next time.
At Mr. Mike's.
For the Mr. Mike's and from the $100. He's literally swimming in it right now.
He's literally swimming in money right now.
I shouldn't have to pay for anything.
No, nothing. That's your best?
I think so. I can't think of anything else.
What's
your best?
My best, I had a few bests. Halloween was a pretty good best. I enjoyed our sushi, but I also overate a little bit, so that wouldn't be like my best.
You overate sushi?
I overate sushi.
We only ordered 2 rolls each.
No.
Yeah, for
you
Halloween.
Ordered 2 rolls. Oh,
Yeah,
Halloween.
We only got the 2 little cartons.
I was talking about the sushi. I forgot we were free sushis this week.
We also ordered it on Sunday, I think. I think we got sushi like 4 times this week.
Uh-oh.
We're just swimming in mercury right now.
Yeah, we are. We gotta stop. No, I wasn't thinking about that part. Halloween. Actually, yeah, that was good. I forgot that we only had 2 rolls. That was a good one. Halloween was probably my best part. It started with I was playing hockey. I got 4 goals, 2 assists.
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling it. It was great.
You're really feeling it.
Really feeling it. I had a good game, and then Halloween with the kids was fun. And then we came back and we had 2 modest amount of sushi, and we had a good night. Mm-hmm. The dogs were terrified. We took care of the dogs. That was cute. That was probably my best part. Was Halloween, I think. And Yeah, I think that was my best part. Is that when we filmed? Well, we filmed on the Monday. Oh yeah, we'd already filmed at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that wasn't part of
Oh
this week.
yeah, filming was my best part.
That was last week.
Oh.
That was last week's. I think we talked about that in our last episode.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, because we filmed and then did the pod and then
Dude.
Halloween. And
What even happened this week then?
Halloween
It was on Tuesday.
was on Wednesday, wasn't it? I don't know. I don't know.
We're just staring at
Who
each other,
knows?
not looking it
I
up.
thought it was Wednesday. Who cares?
Halloween was on Tuesday.
God damn it. Okay, well, my favorite part was Tuesday to Wednesday.
I thought you meant you got goals like on the Monday in hockey.
No, I
so
got
was like,
goals
okay.
on the. I got 1 goal on Monday. I got 4 goals on Wednesday and 2 assists. And then, which brings me to one of my worst parts, is that on Friday, instead of getting any goals, I dislocated my knee again.
Yeah,
That
you
sucked.
hurt yourself.
That sucks. So that put me out for another few more weeks, I think. But it still be funny, so that's good.
Can we?
I think so. I'm not feeling good right now.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
And then the other worst part was just fighting through. I think the half best, half worst. I think it's like right in the middle. What's that? What's your middle of the road part of the week?
Yeah, what's your me?
What's your me? We posted that video of us doing. We did like a little
a
news bit thing, like a weekend update bit, and which was a lot of fun to do. A lot of fun to write, a lot of fun to film. Took a long time to edit. But we got it out, and then I don't know what happened, but we put it out, and my depression just kicked into gear, and it made me want to die.
You got real sad.
I handled it pretty well. Like I weathered the storm that night.
On the inside, maybe. On the outside, you looked like you were about to kill yourself.
On the inside, I was going to kill myself.
Okay, so what part of you handled it well then?
I got past it. Like it didn't spiral me out of control for the next. Like I'm good now, and we're continuing to write and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened where I was like, people are gonna think I'm stupid. People didn't like my jokes. Maybe don't even looked at. Maybe don't even cared. And then I don't know what. Like it was. I haven't done a show in a long time, and I forgot that that's how my brain would just I'd feel really good during the show if it went really well, and even if the show went really, really well, I would get really depressed for like 2 weeks after. So I'm really glad that I didn't just spiral into a 2-week-long depression.
Right.
That's my middle of the road where it was difficult to be exposed a little bit, to be vulnerable, and to do silly jokes, and then wonder if I'm being judged, and then wonder I'm not even like I wished I was being judged at one point. Like I wished I was getting something.
Right.
But like I realized that you've done a good job at helping me realize that no, we're just doing this for us.
Yeah.
These are just silly jokes.
Yeah.
And that, I think if everyone's put the stuff that people are putting out right now online, it's all crowd work. It's all just like, hey, what do you do? Oh yeah, that's crazy. What do you do? And so I don't like watching comedy anymore. It's not fun for me. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to be able to like write a joke, like do a joke, and then release it. And now it's out there. And you did a really good job at helping me realize that this is just fun for like later. Like, let's say nothing happens from this. It's gonna be fun to have this. To show my kids that I used to write jokes and all this stuff. So yeah,
I think it's just fun to do. Like, it's fun to play pretend with you. It's fun to pretend like this is our job.
Yeah.
And we just have to edit, and we get to work on creative stuff all day. Like, it's just fun. It's almost like our hobby. Like, we just really enjoy doing this.
Yeah, we both like writing jokes.
That's the fun part. I also wanted to ask, like, what were you expecting? Did you have high expectations as to the engagement that you were gonna get when you posted it on Facebook?
That's the thing, is I didn't even care. It wasn't until after. And I was actually having a really good night, and we were watching your brother play basketball. And I don't know if it was a tiny bit of a gummy that I ate.
A naughty gummy.
Adult gummy that I had. But I didn't even have much of that. And I don't know what happened, but it was like, there was not even words. It was just waves of depression hitting me. And just then the feeling just made me want to escape by dying. I don't think anything. I don't think any response, it wouldn't have changed that. Like, my brain was just gonna go through this
So even if you were getting lots of engagement, you would have went through it?
Yeah, because I also don't do well with people telling me it was funny. If things are funny, I don't do well with
But like if
anything.
it was negative engagement, would you have gone
Then
through that?
I would actually do better with negative because I go, yeah, that makes sense. But nothing, I fill in everything. And then I also prejudge myself because I worry, like, I've got a lot of friends that do like stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And I worry that they look down on that by being like, well, that's not real comedy. That's just jokes, you know? But it's just like,
but
who
then,
cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? I'm not doing stand-up right now. Like, it's not fun for me.
Yeah.
But I do like writing jokes. So I'm allowed to have a place that I can outlet my jokes.
Yeah.
And not that anyone was arguing. I was arguing myself this. Like, I was constantly being like, you're an idiot to myself, and then fighting against that. And that was my whole night. And I'm lucky that like you helped me get through that. And then I stopped fighting it, and then I just was watching my brain go through the same cycle that it had normally gone through, and I was just watching it.
Right. And like Bo Burnham is always getting made fun of for not being a real comic. Like everybody was like, that's so what would they call it?
Anti-comedy or
what?
Is it like anti-comedy or different or alt comedy, whatever?
They would just say that it's like not kitschy, but what's it called when you have like props and stuff? Like you're
like a prop comic. Oh, like you need something.
Yeah, I don't know what the word is. My brain is not working today.
I know,
but,
me either.
That they would just call him like not a real comedian and stuff.
That's
but
what they
like,
say to music comedians and anything that they use props and stuff like that.
But it's like you're making people laugh no
who
matter
cares?
what. Who cares how you're making people laugh? It doesn't matter.
And you think it's silly. And this is what your brain came up with. Yeah. No, it was just a lot of stuff I had to get over with myself. It's been a while since I've put anything out, and it's been a while since I've...
Besides the podcast, though, which is another funny thing.
I know.
Is that you post about the podcast a lot, and it doesn't get any engagement. There's nothing there.
Yeah, the podcast is more like an hour of us hanging out, talking about our relationship, talking about our thoughts and stuff like that. So it doesn't always have to be funny. But it was hard to be like, this is condensed jokes. And so I feel very exposed and judged based on that. And because it's not a show, I'm used to a show by being like, okay, either that worked or that didn't work. And I know right away based on laughter and engagement of the audience that are in front of me.
Right.
So it's hard to post it and then go, oh, that's it. That's all that happened there. And that's it. And that's fine. But I had to I'm having to retrain my brain to not worry about it. Having you handle all the social media stuff has been really helpful.
I wonder if like it's similar, like a smaller version of like when somebody's done like a tour, when the tour ends and they're like left with nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I've just been working on this thing for a year.
Yeah.
And now I'm just done.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Right.
Like that is kind of like an empty, like you're just like staring at the abyss or something.
Yeah.
Like that sort of feeling. Is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of similar to what it was.
Similar to that, but also
like a smaller version of it, but.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Even then, who knows? I don't know I honestly don't know what happened. It doesn't make sense to me because I wasn't upset. I still like the jokes, but after I posted it and I was excited about it, about a few hours later, I started thinking of all the jokes, and then maybe it's because I wasn't I don't know if someone's laughing at it. I don't know if someone likes it. So in my mind, I'm bombing now. Right. But I can't fix it, and I can't, at least if I'm bombing at a show, I can save a show. Yeah. I can try to go, okay, all right, that's not working. What else can we do? But no, like, this is it. If they didn't like it, they didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And I have to be okay with that. Yeah. And it was part of it was just being exposed to people's, I don't know, thoughts on myself. And I don't like myself enough to handle that well. Mm-hmm. So, but we're learning. We're getting through it. I was only a few hours that night, and I didn't want to die the next morning.
Yeah, that's great.
So I know it wasn't fun for you. I was pretty proud of myself.
I was really worried about you.
I know.
Because I do know that can carry on till who knows when. Yeah. So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to really carry this guy.
Yeah,
for a while.
You don't, and it's I'm good. I was watching, and I've learned a lot through just going through like my PTSD stuff and meditation, how to be present. Just learning how to just watch my thoughts now. The problem is that if I engage those thoughts, that's where I'll get depressed. Yeah. But if I can zoom out a little bit and then just go, oh, look at Sam. Look at those thoughts. Oh, that's interesting. We expected those thoughts and it's happening. Isn't that interesting? It's so dumb to say that and be like, oh, look, that's a wave of depression. Oh, just watch the wave of depression come and go. It's so hard to watch that come and go and then not grab onto it and go, but why? You know? Because if you go, why, then you're sucked in.
Yeah.
But as I watched it, it was like my anxiety. I would watch it and I watch it go away if I just watch it enough.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to do that night.
Well, I got scared at one of my jokes because I started posting the individual jokes on like TikTok and Reels and stuff like that. And then we got like our first kind of hate comment and it scared me.
You got scared for me, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And you deleted it.
Yeah. So it wasn't even on your joke. It was on my joke. It was somebody mad about, I don't even remember what, but they were like calling me names or something.
It was the Islam joke for Justin Trudeau, I think.
Yeah, it was. But I don't remember what they said exactly. It was something about, I literally, I don't know. I read it and deleted it and then deleted it from my memory as well. Yeah. Because I was like, oh no. Need that. Yeah. I just didn't need it. I had dealt with you the night before was that, your situation. So I was like, oh no, this is all going to crumble.
You thought I was going to get depressed for you.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what he can handle right now. I don't know if this is going to be a new thing because like you're depressed because you released something and whatever. But I don't know if you've had to deal with like somebody else attacking somebody that you love.
Right.
And I don't know.
All right. I'm just kidding.
All right. Somebody that you like,
that's fine.
that you're okay with.
I'm okay with that.
I don't know if you've ever had to deal with that. So I didn't know if that was going to be another level of something that I hadn't seen you deal with before.
Yeah.
It was the unknown for me.
Yeah.
And I also was like, okay, like it felt like the person didn't read or not read, but like didn't listen to the joke and was just kind of attacking me for no reason. Like was just heard Israel.
They heard like two things that upset them and they were already angry about whatever's going on in their life.
They probably heard like the name Trudeau and then was just pissed and started ranting and raving. So like I was like, oh, I don't need that. Yeah. I don't need to deal with that. Yeah. And I think it's better if I just delete this and just wipe it and who cares. I think it's a good
call considering you didn't know how I was going to handle it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't know if like you were signed into anything. I didn't know if you were going to ask about it. You were sleeping at the time. I had just read it and I went, nope. I'm okay. And I didn't even tell you until like way later, in the day. I didn't tell you till like the afternoon or something because you were saying that you're okay and like we talked about it and stuff and then I think you asked about comments and I was telling you that it's all positive and whatever. I was like, because all the ones on your video were like laughing emoji, whatever. And there was some like that on mine too, but then there was just that one. Yeah. So I was like, no, it's all positive. It's all great. Everybody thinks it's really funny. And I was just trying to.
Yeah, that's so funny. You're trying to protect me, which you don't have to do. If anything, that's really sweet that you were worried about me and that you reacted like that to protect me. That's really nice of you. I view us as like a team. And so it's like on a hockey team, if someone like hurt one of my players physically or emotionally, I get fired up. Like I don't get depressed. I wouldn't be like, we are a piece of shit. I look forward to those times with you that we get to weather those together. This thing that I was dealing with was completely internal.
I know. Yeah. And I also know that it was separate from that sort of stuff. Like I knew that they were two different things, but I just wasn't sure if this was a new thing that I didn't know how you were going to handle. Yeah. I wasn't sure where it was going to go.
Honestly, I say good call. You didn't know, and we talked about it. Now you know we can leave it. Yeah. Because I've been having so much fun.
Reading the hate comments.
Not even hate comments. People are
like
just,
the anger comments.
They're angry. They're not even angry at us, but they're just like, we've made a joke about a subject, and then so many people are just like, here are all my thoughts about it on a comment on YouTube. It's been really funny.
The Black Spider-Man joke is getting like a lot of comments.
Blowing up, yeah.
People are just angry in general. They're not angry at me. There's nothing like personal there. Yeah. But like people are like, Nah! You're talking about black people.
Yeah, like half black people get no respect in this country. Like we're in
Yeah.
Canada, and yeah, probably. It's been funny though. Like I'm fine with negative stuff. I'm fine with
Yeah.
positive. For some reason, it's like I don't care if it's on YouTube. I realized that it was because I posted it. I thought this thing we were doing was silly, and I thought people wanted to see us, and we haven't really done much
Yeah.
in person that they could go see. So I was like, oh, if people have been asking when we're going to do stuff, and I was like, oh, here's that. And then to get no engagement from friends or family, that hurt. And then the engagement I got from like my mom
Shout out Sam's mom.
wasn't ideal. She won't make it through this part. How far are we in? 25. Yeah, she's not going to make it there. That was interesting.
She gave us the old what is it called? Critique sandwich, a positive sandwich or something.
Yeah, it felt like an open face critique sandwich.
Yeah, I know that's what it felt like because you're her son.
You handled
But
it really
it was
well.
a positive sandwich,
Yeah.
which is funny that it needed to be a sandwich at all.
It was such a mom comment of like, not as good as Weekend Update. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Try this next time. Yeah.
I had another family member once say about my joke. They're like, "Well, I mean, it's not like Louis C.K. level." I was like, yeah, I'm not a professional comedian. I'm doing my best. I'll work on it though. Thanks.
So funny. Yeah, it was really funny that it's like, oh, that's like you just need to say like that's funny. Like if you know me,
Yeah.
just be like funny.
Yeah.
If we're blood relatives, how about you just say cool?
It's like Paisley, my oldest daughter. She's like learning how to do. She loves cartwheels. She
Yeah.
doesn't nail cartwheels.
No.
but
But we're not out here like it's not
well,
that straight.
You know what? It's actually not that straight.
It's really good, but it does need work.
She could land on her knees, and I go, "You got over the top."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even need it. And the funny thing with my mom, we didn't ask.
Yeah.
We didn't say,
It's
"Hey,
funny.
can you watch this? And what did you like about it?"
Yeah, can you tell us some critiques that you had? Can you give us some tips?
It's so funny.
Yeah, to give tips is really funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and the things that we know, like we're not good. Like I'm not a great reader, so I get really self-conscious
But we
about
also
reading.
knew, because like I mentioned it at the beginning,
Yeah.
I was like, how are you planning on reading these jokes?
Yeah.
Are we going to make cards? Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, I'm just going to read them off the paper. And I was like, you know what? For our first video, that's probably fine.
If anything, it'll get better.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
just print these off and just read them. We're just having fun right now.
Yeah.
Let's just have fun and not worry about like writing them on big pieces
Yeah,
of paper
and doing
stuff.
it perfectly,
Yeah.
right?
So I knew that was not, I don't know if we said this, that's the critique that we got from Sam's mom.
Yeah, it's like,
was to not read
yeah.
off the paper and to keep our eyes up. And we were like,
Yeah, we should work on getting a
that's-
teleprompter.
That's the end goal here. But this was our first video, and
Yeah.
we were just filming. We were just having fun one day,
Yeah.
and we're like, why don't
Let's
we
see
just
if we can do this.
keep
Yeah.
doing it? Let's just do it.
And the practice of it is difficult. I'm not to say that people don't find this easy, but like it is difficult to go, okay, well let's think of some topical jokes. Let's write some topical jokes that
Yeah.
are pretty tight.
Yeah.
And then let's perform them to no audience
Yeah.
that are not laughing
Yeah,
at us.
so
which
we
is
don't know
hard.
if they're
We don't know
funny.
if they're funny. We think they're funny,
Yeah.
obviously, but and then we have to edit after. So we have
Yeah.
to get a wardrobe. We had to get a set. We had to figure our set out.
Yeah.
We had to figure out camera. We had to
Lighting.
figure out lighting. We had to edit,
Yeah.
and then we had to learn how to do that. Like all that was so hard.
Yeah.
It was the practice of getting to the finish line there of our
Yeah,
first one
for
and
sure.
going, okay, well the next time we're not gonna have to learn all that stuff.
Yeah. So now we can
Focus
improve
on
some
improving
things.
on the stuff. So it's funny on the
Yeah.
first video, be like, well,
I also made all those little pictures by myself. Like
Yeah,
we're not like
that was
just
amazing.
searching pictures and finding the perfect picture for the thing.
you
Like
edit
I
all that
made
stuff.
all of it.
Yeah.
You edited everything.
Yeah.
It was an hour's worth of footage down to 6 minutes.
and I found editing software we have not used before,
Yeah.
so it can be free.
So you just learned a
And-
new editing software.
And
which
how
is
much money did we
crazy.
actually spend on it? Not including like obviously we bought cameras, but a long time ago. Like we already had
Yeah,
some
this
cameras,
is all stuff that we already had.
but we ended up spending
$20
$20 each on wardrobe.
Wardrobe, and that was it.
And not just that, but that $20 each we're using for as long as we can do this.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, we're not going to buy a new wardrobe every time.
No, we go to Value Village.
We're getting wardrobe supplied.
We're getting wardrobe supplied, which is a pretty good deal on your first episode to have a wardrobe supplied.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking it'd be so funny, like, because Steve Harvey has like a new suit every
time.
day.
Yeah.
All these, like, the suits provided, like, even Jerry D, when he does Family Feud, he has a new suit every day. How funny we both have new suits every day.
Yeah.
And they're crappy ones from Value Village and stupid ties.
Yeah.
And it just looks like we're like it's. I think it was supposed to. I think we did a good job making it look like two kids having fun.
Yeah.
And it's just funny to get critiqued as if we are Weekend
Professionals.
Update professionals with more Michaels in a studio.
Yeah.
Well, could have
like all
been,
this
well,
help
could have
and
been
stuff.
better.
Like,
yeah.
Those guys literally just have to write the jokes and then read them.
Yeah.
We did everything.
Everything, yeah, which is really hard. And I've spent the last like few days going, okay, what didn't I like about this? What took too long?
Yeah.
And I've been studying this new program that we have that will be a lot cheaper. That it's free.
Yeah.
And how to do that for free and to make it more feasible, because that took a whole week.
Yeah.
Not including the writing. That took a
Right.
whole week of just setting up editing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I figured out how to cut it down to like a fraction of the time, which is great.
Right. And then we also edited bloopers. And
Yeah.
if you'd like to see the bloopers.
The bloopers were really funny.
Behind the scenes. We also, within the bloopers, there's like behind the scenes of how we kind of wrote jokes as we were doing it.
Yeah.
Like we came up with the joke already, but then we would fix them. So
Yeah,
there's
we
like a
would
little
write-
bit of behind the scenes of like the evolution of some
Yeah.
of the jokes and stuff like that. But it's pretty funny. It's on our Patreon.
Yeah.
So go buy it.
Go buy it. And something we did this year, we managed to get out to all of the Patreon subscribers a face-to-face visit.
Yeah, we went
this year before Christmas.
We went around and did face-to-face visits to
Yeah.
all of our Patreon.
Yeah, went a lot
members.
quicker than we thought it was going to be, because there was just one, but, and we knew them, so we knew where they lived. But yeah,
It
surprise
was a really
visit.
nice Christmas present for all those patrons.
Yeah.
So that was good.
But yeah, and the other thing is that like we're getting a better camera now, which I'm excited about. We're getting that sometime this week, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's gonna be good. So we'll actually to be able to record the podcast, which will be fun.
Yeah.
Because Bobby has not figured a camera, so we're just gonna buy him one, I guess.
Buy him a new one, I guess.
Buy
So
him a
you
new, I
can
guess.
figure that one
Hopefully,
out.
he doesn't break it. But no, yeah, this whole thing was fun. It's been fun to watch like people get so upset. Like you make like, what was the thing? You had a really funny joke where you're like, Trump forgot the name of the Iowa city that he was in.
Yeah.
And your joke was, uh-oh, Trump, someone's got a case of the Bidens.
Yeah.
Which I think is just a funny joke.
Yeah.
And the comments are like, anyone who supports Biden is an idiot.
Freaking liberals.
Well, someone is. And then you got other people be like, anyone who likes Trump is an idiot. Which I think is such a funny reaction to that joke, because you made fun of both sides.
Yeah.
And then for someone to go, yeah, they are idiots. That's been funny. And then they're just going back and forth.
We got one really, really nice comment. Should we read it?
Sure, yeah.
It was really nice. I don't remember what video it was on. It was on... Oh, this one. It was on the Trudeau video. And somebody said, okay, this made me laugh out loud. If I had been drinking water while watching this, it would be all over me and the floor. Hilarious. So that was nice.
That was nice. That was like, honestly, that was like one of our first comments. And that helped me go, okay. Because I just didn't know if people thought we were funny.
Right.
Like our actual jokes.
Yeah.
I know that we're hilarious on this. But that was be like, okay, this is not our family, not our friend. Oh my God. Settle down.
Scouty.
Scouty butt.
Scout, come here.
Scout.
We're shooting right now, Scout.
Quiet on the set.
Quiet on set, Scouty.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, yeah, that was nice to be like, okay. It's hard for my brain to know how to adjust my writing and stuff when I don't get some sort of feedback.
Yeah.
And to go, oh, okay, no. Not that I need feedback all the time.
Yeah.
I just need to go, am I in the area I should be in?
Yeah.
And if this person found us funny and everyone it's all subjective. So other people are not going to find us funny, right?
Yeah.
But to go, okay, this is not our family member. This is not our friend. This is a random person that didn't need to text that.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Text that.
Or
You're so
text that.
old.
I'm so old. They texted to us. They emailed it.
How did they know how to reach us?
So that was nice to go. Okay, we're in the zone of good writing at least, which is good, and we can work on the other stuff. Because the writing stuff is the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Look at all the YouTubers that try to have YouTube channels. They're not funny. They're not good writers.
Yeah.
And we might not be great on camera yet, but I think we did fine. I might not be, but like, I think those things you can learn over time of just doing it. I think we've gotten better at podcasts by just doing podcasting.
Yeah.
You know, I can't wait to see if we can get 20 of these out, how much better we can get at them.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. It was just a little vulnerable. I don't do well being vulnerable. Same reason I don't like showering with guys at hockey. I don't like being vulnerable to being made fun of. I don't know what they'd make fun of me for, but I just don't want that. I don't do it. I don't do well with vulnerability.
Yeah, I know.
And so this whole thing is new.
Yeah.
And I've already gotten over the whole going on stage and not caring if I bomb.
Yeah.
And but this is like a new little adventure.
Yeah.
Of putting yourself out there. Like, hey, these are things that I've worked really hard on.
Yeah.
That's part of it. It's one thing if
the
it's
podcast you don't feel like you worked that hard on. You're just kind of like
we're having fun, we're chatting,
and
I'm with a comfortable person,
Yeah.
and as long as we're laughing, it's funny. But like to write a joke, and even to do stand up, like as long as you're not recording it to put it out, if it doesn't go the way you want, you go, well, I'll tweak that.
Right.
But these are jokes I wrote. We said it well.
We finalized.
We finalized it, and then put it out and went, I don't know if people think I'm funny.
And that's the best version of these jokes that I can think of for now.
That I can think of for now. And even if I come up with something better, which I've thought about how to make some of my jokes better already, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
All I can do is make the next jokes better.
That's the other thing. You were trying to think of how to make your jokes funnier. And I was like,
it's already gone.
Dude, it's gone.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
I know.
Don't think about that because there's no way you're ever going to get those out there.
Which I'm also not used to because with stand-up, you have to do your jokes. Spoiler alert, you know, all these like fancy comedians, they have dialed in jokes.
Yeah.
They've done a billion times.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't fix it after you put it out.
Yeah, which is similar to Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
They're just throwing out their jokes and sometimes they don't land.
And that's
fine.
And
they go, okay. And they scratch them out.
But to me, at least they know that it's okay. Oh, looks like you didn't like that. They have a studio audience, you know, where it's
but at the same time, they're not going to ever repeat it again and fix it. They can't fix it. It doesn't matter that it didn't go well.
Right,
they're making a joke about how it didn't go well.
That's true.
They're like, oh, okay, that one didn't work. But even if it doesn't work, that doesn't matter for next week.
Right.
Because it's all new jokes.
Right.
It's not like you're going to make a race joke. It didn't go well. And then the next week you don't make a race joke.
I know.
No, you're still going to make a different race joke.
I remember, I made like a LGBTQ joke, and I got worried, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't. I don't want to be the guy that just makes that joke every time. And unfortunately, it's always in the news. So I have another joke for next time that is even better. But yeah, I think they're gonna get better and better. I'm excited about it, and I appreciate you helping me get through that part.
Of course.
Anyway, honestly, so much fun doing that with you.
It was really fun.
Like the bloopers, I had more fun making the blooper. I'm so glad you made the bloopers for us so we could look at that. It was a silly time. We had a fun time sitting down for an hour, and we were laughing the whole time. Yeah. It was great.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
We basically took like the whole day and it was so fun.
Yeah. And the other thing I really enjoyed was I love your brain. It's the thing I've always loved about you. But I like that you and me, we always go, okay, that was great. How do we make it better? Yeah. Like a lot of people will go, well, this is perfect. You know, we're like, hey, this got out and we did it and that was a good job. Yeah. And what can we improve the next time? Yeah. And then you have your own things that you're doing. And you've thought of a bunch of ways where I was like, I got that message from my mom, and I was like, it looks like I have to buy a teleprompter. And then you're like, how about we just use a little whiteboard? And I was like, that's probably cheaper. And then I remembered we had like that, we have like a big pads of paper, and you're like, why don't we just use those until we're out? And I'm like, that's even cheaper.
Yeah, you're like, so do you think like $80 for 2 whiteboards that come with stands is cheaper than a teleprompter that's $120? And I was like, how about,
But we need to get an iPad for the teleprompter.
well, how about we just use the paper that we already have and we just do that for a little bit and just stand it on a chair?
Yeah, I think you understand where my perfectionism comes from.
Which I totally get. I have that too, but at the same time, I love saving money.
Right,
so I'm
me
like,
too.
Okay, yeah, that would be ideal, but how do I just do this for now?
But I'm saying that I have the mom that I have.
Yeah.
and some others, family.
I don't know where my perfectionism comes from.
I think I have a little bit of that myself, but I mean, it was definitely got amped up. I was ready just to go, okay, how can we make this a little better? Until I got that comment, and I was like, okay, what's the cheapest teleprompter I can find? So yeah. Your family's really nice, where it's like, if they think something's funny, they'll let you know, and if they don't think something's funny, we'll hear from them later about it.
Right.
Like,
I'm usually really hard on myself.
Yeah.
I don't know why that comes and goes, but like for this sort of stuff, whenever it comes to like, I guess creative stuff like art and comedy and stuff like that, I always feel like I'm so happy doing it that it doesn't matter if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Also, as long as the jokes are good. Like,
Yeah.
I like writing a really perfect joke.
Yeah. Which is so great.
yeah.
I love that about you.
That's my favorite
I
part.
love that we can be like, that joke's great, and then we can just sit and look at it, and you're like, you know how to make it 3 words less? Like, that's an insane thing that's very few people have, I think.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. With other things in my life, I'm really hard on myself. But whenever it's creative stuff, I'm always just so happy to be doing it that I'm like, I don't care how this comes out, or that there's a couple things that aren't perfect right now, because I'm just really happy.
Yeah.
It makes me really, really happy.
I had to learn how to do that. My family is very much of a perfectionist type of family, and I probably would never have done stand up ever if I kept that mentality, just because like you don't know. You could make it perfect, and then you can go up stand up, and then you go, oh no, that was garbage.
That's the other thing, is working so hard on the pre stuff for this sort of stuff, like trying to get a perfect camera and a perfect teleprompter and trying to make the first episode perfect, and then it comes out not perfect. That's more devastating to me. And I go, how about we make it not perfect, and then it might come out better than I thought.
Exactly.
But also Bo Burnham, his last special, the Inside special, taught me like, oh, I don't need to like sit around and wait for all these things to come to me.
You can
for
do
me
stuff
to have,
yourself.
Yeah, I can just do it. Like, I don't need to have a crew and all this sort of stuff to make these things. This guy had a camera and a house and a keyboard, and that's all he just made a special out of all of this. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and it's amazing when, like, because I was doing comedy for a long time, and hearing people be like, well, I'm never going to make it because I'm not clean enough for Just for Laughs or whatever. It's like, you don't need to be. Like,
who cares?
You only need to be if you want to be exactly like all the other comedians that Just for Laughs has produced.
That nobody knows their name of.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so many people have done Just for Laughs that you don't know.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And not to say that's not a cool thing to get in a career. And growing up, I remember that was like my goal when I first started. My goal is to do as hard as I can until I can get into Just for Laughs. Now looking at it, I go, okay, well, I'm gonna have to really change my style now. To do that. And I started clean, so it was feasible. And not that I tried not to go clean, but I just stopped caring so much. I just more cared about the jokes. And I don't. And then I kept seeing that, like, oh, that doesn't actually get you anywhere. The only thing that's going to get you somewhere is by focusing on the thing that you like, and then you try as hard as you can at that. Right. And whatever that is, that's going to be. I'm almost censoring myself with our jokes, because I worry that like YouTube's gonna flag it or something. If someone gets upset and flags it as hate speech, I worry, and then I might not write those jokes. But I've been trying to push past that.
Yeah. So with that sort of stuff, we don't really know the YouTube laws.
Yeah.
I don't really care to look into it that deep until something happens to us.
That's a better way of doing it.
So if YouTube does say like, hey, this one was not whatever. Yeah. I also know that YouTube lets you cut out whatever piece is not good.
Oh, okay.
And then repost it.
Oh, like you can bleep it out or something.
Yeah, like it lets you edit your video. You can make it private, edit it, and then post it as public again, and YouTube can approve it and be like, yeah, it's fine again. Mm-hmm. So I know people do that. They'll blur things out in the next cut of it or whatever. So I know that it's not like one and done, and then we can never be on YouTube again. Mm-hmm. So I'm not worried about it. I think we're going to learn from that. If that ever does happen, we'll just learn what we can and can't do.
Yeah, you really helped me with that. It's sort of like the ask for forgiveness, not permission thing.
Yeah.
Where my whole my dad is very much he's a low risk kind of a guy, and he used to teach us to think about everything, which was good. Like it's good that I have the brain that I have from my dad. Like we're able to analyze a lot of moves ahead in chess and in life and stuff like that, and try to set ourselves up with that. But like. It was almost too much analyzing where he goes, he'll look at I'll play chess with my dad and he'll look at a chessboard for a while and he's like, okay, I know exactly how to win. Yeah. And he does finally does his move after like an hour, even because we don't time it or anything. And then I do something he wasn't expecting. He's like, I got to revisit this whole thing, because like it changes. Something's going to change. And so that I've always noticed that was a problem, but I know my brain is always like, well, look for all the problems first. And I get so worried about failing and whatever that, it can turn into just inaction, right? If you just worry so much. And you've really helped me just to go, well, nothing's wrong until like YouTube or whoever says we'd said something wrong. Yeah. Where it goes in my head is like, I've seen lots of YouTube where they can't say things like, they can't say like suicide. They can't say suicide. Yeah. And so they have to say they have codes. They can't say rape, so they say grape. Yeah. Like they're getting around the YouTube algorithm or whatever. Yeah. And so I just get in my head that, but I'm like those people are also worried that they're not going to get monetized, whatever. I'm not caring about that. I'm caring about writing the best joke I can write. Yeah.
And the other thing is that a lot of this stuff is to do with monetization. Yeah. For like YouTube ads. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's not really what we're going for. No. We don't have YouTube ads right now. Yeah. So it's not like YouTube can really touch us. Right. Because there's stuff on YouTube that's not good for YouTube and it's still on there. It's just not monetized.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like
I don't think like Your Mom's House, Two Bears, they're not monetized by YouTube. They have their own like sponsors inside of the thing. So there's other ways of doing it. And I have to just not worry about that and just be myself.
I also heard that YouTube monetization has gone way down and nobody really benefits from that anymore.
Yeah. Everyone has their own self-promotion things.
Yeah. Worst part of my week. What was the worst part? Me. For one day. Go, Zach. For one day. Worst part of my week was... What did we do? Honestly, it's been my sleep. I feel like I haven't been sleeping good.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a time change or whatever. Maybe it's that, but
I feel really tired. My eyes feel really heavy, and I just feel like I haven't been sleeping well. So maybe that's my worst part. Also, you spiraling.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's not like I'm like, ugh, here we go again. It's just like I get so scared for you. I don't know where your brain's going because you shut down a lot. You just go into yourself. Yeah. And then eventually you'll come out and talk about all of your thoughts. But like for a long time, you'll just be inside and like you look like you want to die. So
I didn't realize I look like I want to die.
Yeah. You look like you're not even there. Right. So I'm trying to have fun, like watching my brother play basketball, and I look over and you're like existential dread. And I'm like, and like not paying attention to anything, not listening to anybody, just like gone. It's what it looks like. I know that you're paying attention a little bit and you're thinking and whatever, but you look gone.
In my head, I'm like, I'm handling this pretty good. Like, I'm not letting anyone know. No one has any idea. I haven't said anything for 3 hours beside you.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, he's gone. He's spiraling right now. So I get really scared for you. And
everyone's none the wiser.
Nobody knows what's up here.
Got a perfect handle on this depression. Yep. Not going to get me today.
Poker face. Poker face.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
It's fine. It's just it gets scary.
Yeah.
It gets
I'm
scared
working
for
on
you.
it's getting better every time.
I'm also scared. I'm like, oh no, is he not going to want to do this anymore? We had so much fun, but
Right.
I know that that's also me spiraling because of your spiral. I'm like, oh no, we're never going to do it again.
Yeah. And I think it's like with anything, I look at any of my favorite comics though, and they go, like their whole family is like, are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
Like, you sure?
For
And
sure.
like, like, maybe not Eddie Murphy, I was going to say Eddie Murphy, but like every parent or every, like, no one, it's so far off in the realm of possibility for most people.
Yeah.
But just to go, this is literally how Jimmy Fallon started, by writing
Yeah.
dumb jokes.
Yeah.
And not to say that we're going to be Jimmy Fallon, but I'm saying you won't be
Yeah.
unless you
You have
do
100% chance of not being that if
Exactly.
you don't do anything.
Exactly. And if I'm just having fun, I have so much fun writing silly jokes and giggling all the time with you.
I know.
That's a great hobby.
Yeah.
I think I was getting like half fired up, half angry at other people in the car, but I was like, what do people who knit give to anybody? they don't no one even wants those gifts. But it's cool to that our hobby is making other people giggle.
It's funny that like the perception of like somebody who has a hobby like knitting or
Yeah.
something like that. It's not like people look at that and go, "What, you want to be a professional knitter?"
Or runner or a marathon
You
runner.
what do you want to run a marathon? Why are you even running?
That's not going to get you anywhere.
like nobody really says that.
Yeah.
But then when you post something on the internet
Yeah.
like comedy or like singing
Yeah.
or dancing or something, people are like, "What are you trying to do with
What are you
that?
literally, what are you trying to do? You're trying to be better than me?
What are you trying to be a professional comedian?" It's like, I'm just having fun, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is my hobby.
Yeah.
I like doing it.
Yeah, it's fun for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny that knitting is, or stuff like that isn't really looked at in the same way.
Yeah, or like exercise. People are like, well, that makes sense. Like, what are you training for? Literally, if you stop training, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Same thing with me. If I stop writing jokes, nothing happens.
Yeah.
But it's just weird that we have a hobby that we need other people to engage in. Or not
Kind
even
of.
engage, but like just to watch and like. They don't even, actually, that's not true.
That's not true because
Yeah.
we don't really need people to watch and like our stuff. We're actually having fun doing this.
Yeah.
If we had 0 listeners, I'd still be doing this.
Yeah,
with you.
that's-
this is so fun.
And that's kind of like the podcast.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Is
Yeah.
if we had 0 listeners on the podcast.
Yeah, and like not that I need anyone to call and say, "Oh, this is a funny joke" or whatever, but I like to, like, I do have idols I look up to
Yeah.
that you'd hope that if they see your stuff, and not all your idols will like what you're doing, right?
Right.
Or whatever, but I'd like to think that I'm doing a good enough job being relatively new to this to write pretty tight jokes with like not much fat on them.
Right.
That I think that, if guys that I would look up to saw it, didn't even reach out to me, but just thought like, oh, that was actually like a well-written joke. It's like, if am I doing a good enough quality that if one of my idols saw that, would think that may have not been the best joke, but like really tight joke, really no fat joke, that's a
Yeah.
really quick joke,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Not that we need this to go anywhere,
No.
but if it did, we hope that they like it.
We'd hope that they like the attempt. Yeah.
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 Or just like appreciate it or something.
And like I said, most people are posting, like, good comics now. All they're doing is just posting crowd work.
That's all it
It's
is.
garbage.
And it's because they don't want to waste their jokes.
Which makes sense.
Which totally makes sense, but at the same time,
Don't post anything.
yeah, there's only like 1 or 2 good crowd work people out
Yeah.
there that I will stop and watch and think that it's funny
Yeah.
sometimes. I can't remember that one guy's name, but he's really, really good. He's like he's better than Matt Rife, I'd say.
Yeah,
and he's
some guys are really good.
He's really a no-name comic at this point. I
Yeah.
cannot remember his name. Like Jeff
Foxworthy.
Acuri or something.
No idea.
Something like that. Acuri maybe,
Yeah.
something like that. But he's pretty funny. Other than that, I'm like, you're not saying anything.
Yeah.
You're going, what's your job? And they go, oh, I'm a taxidermist. And
Yeah.
he's like, what the heck?
What the heck is that?
And everybody
It
goes,
looks
ha ha,
right.
ha ha, comedian is confused.
Because I've also
That's funny."
seen like, I've been in the room with comics that do that, like good
Yeah.
comics,
Yeah.
not good comics, but like well, not that they're bad comics, but like traveling comics that do that,
Yeah.
and they don't have much of an act. Like they don't have much jokes.
Right.
And it's like, oh no, they need this is part of their hour. Like they need this
Crowd
engagement.
work to me it can be really easy, which is unfortunate because like it can be easy and like audiences can react really easily to crowd work because it's like, oh, he's talking to me.
Yeah.
And it feels, I don't know why, it gets you kind of amped up and feels funnier than it is.
It's more like an Evel Knievel. Like he doesn't even know what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
So if he can say something funny off that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even need to be that funny. You just have to be somewhat quick.
Yeah.
And not say that it's hard. Like it's really hard to do crowd work too. I don't like crowd work either. But I view crowd work the same way I view like when a comic strictly does crowd work. If they're good, obviously there's exception to the rule. But for the most part, people are seeing Matt Rife and going, "Oh, that's all you need to do."
Right.
No, Matt Rife has that scheduled in his set, and he's got great jokes around that. Matt Rife's a great writer.
Yeah.
But I feel that crowd work is similar to like when a comic only does, the airplane food and this hotel thing. Like that's all their world is crowd work, hotels, and flying.
Right.
It's like, what else do you have?
Yeah.
That it's funny.
Right.
But yeah, that's I like that as much as we're doing political stuff. Not that neither of us are liking like. We're never really into much political stuff. It's just been funny to write jokes. I literally
just started looking at news.
It's been fun.
For this whole thing.
It's been so wild for you to go like, did you hear what Trump said? I'm like, what the fuck?
I never look at news. I never know what's going on in the world. And now I know everything that's going on in the world.
And I'm like, I really have not liked you since you turned 26. I really don't like where you're going here.
I'm into the news now.
Oh, great. Yeah, my 25-year-old girlfriend's gone.
Oh, I was going to say something else. Just about like comedians doing crowd work and not putting out jokes. And it's like, yeah, they don't want to waste their jokes. But me and you are so much like, we don't want to keep saying the same joke over and over again.
And that's our problem. Like that's also a problem of like, we chronically don't like telling a joke twice. Yeah. Yeah. Which is, I think, what we're doing here is it solves it perfectly.
We're satisfying all of our needs.
Because it's not like we didn't put work into the jokes that we said before. Yeah. It's just hard to say it at an open mic. And you don't want to say it another. Like, it's hard for me to want to say it at the next show. Yeah. Just in case there's another guy in the show and the other side. I told you what happened to me when I first started comedy. When I had done like 3 shows in the city that I live, because I would always do comedy in like 2 hours away. Yeah. So I'd always work on stuff there, come back here, and these guys were like letting me do sets before like actual comedians coming through when I was first trying it out. Yeah. And I was trying to flex a little bit by being like, give me more time, because I would love to have more time. And so I would do 5 minutes, and I would make sure it was like a really tight 5 minutes, which is hard to do when you start. Mm-hmm. And then I think 3 weeks later there'd be another show, and I'd make sure I have a new tight 5 minutes, like a brand new 5 minutes. Yeah. And then the next show I did another brand new 5 minutes. So now I went to the runner of it, Drew. I didn't know him at the time other than he was just doing the stuff. Mm-hmm. And I said, look, I've done 3 shows. I've done really well every time, and they've been brand new, like not brand new, but like it was a new set. I didn't reuse jokes. Everyone else is reusing jokes. And I said, I want 15 minutes. And so I said, on the next thing, can I have 15 minutes? He said, sure. And so I worked on a new 15-minute set. I only used 1 joke from those 5 minutes in that next 15-minute set. Like I worked really hard on trying to do new jokes and make them tight and make them good. And on that 15-minute set, I think it was like my first or second joke was one of the ones I did in those first 3. Yeah. And I opened the joke, and I can't remember what the joke was. I was like, I was watching Border Security as my joke, and I saw the guy in the front row go, oh. and I saw it right away. It murdered. It had been even tighter than the first time he would have saw it. Yeah. But that first, just like he was like already into the first joke, and then I started the second joke, and he heard the premise before, and he went, oh, and just sat back in his chair. And it was a very attractive black guy, very strong black guy. And I remember seeing it right away and going, I hate myself, I hate myself, I hate myself, and I have to do this joke now because I'm in it. Yeah. And I did it. and murdered, like leveled the floor with that.
Yeah.
And then, but no reaction from him. And it's one of the things I remember the most. I can still remember his face.
That's
and
awful.
It made it really hard for me to ever want to go to do another joke where it had already been done.
Yeah.
So I got really good at going, okay, well, I've been there. If I was there 5 months ago, I know exactly what jokes I did at this place. So I won't do those jokes again.
Yeah.
And it made me anxious. So anxious.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Which is a problem to only want to do new jokes, but
that's so funny. That is just one of the jokes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which of course is a small town. He came to the same guy's thing, but
Yeah.
that's when I was like, never do that again. And that's where that started for me.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't like repeating them. It feels like, you know, when you say a joke like in a conversation and then nobody heard it, and so you say it again, but then one person did hear it twice and they go, really?
Yeah.
You're gonna say it again to make sure everybody else heard it.
That's like your family would say that.
That's what it feels like when you say a joke twice. And if one person in the room's heard that joke already, they go, "Oh, you want everybody to hear that joke, I guess." Okay, like that's what it feels like. So I just feel like I don't know.
Yeah, you feel like a fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like I have to act in some way, like I have never told this joke before.
Yeah, you guys ever? So I was watching TV the other day, 3 years ago.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I remember having to fight the urge to explain that I've told this joke before. I'm like, I really apologize if you've heard these jokes before, but you're gonna hear it again. And then you go to open mic or another show. I've gone to real shows, and it's the same comics telling the exact same jokes.
Oh yeah, I've gone to
time.
open mics, and it's the same comics telling the same jokes. And
Which open mics I get, they're learning, but I've been to like real shows. Like I've seen like
retelling jokes at an open mic. Is that what you're saying?
There are people who aren't good that will do that. Yeah.
No, I think it's crazier to retell a joke at an open mic than to retell a joke at a paid show.
Yeah, especially if you haven't worked on it.
If you're getting paid, retell your jokes. Go ahead. You know your best stuff. You don't have to work for that.
Yeah.
You've already done the work, whatever. But at an open mic, like, test something out.
Especially since if they don't, like, add on to it or anything.
Or, like, figure it out and, like,
but they're just
change
like,
it a little bit.
I need a laugh here.
Yeah.
Like, why are you here?
Like, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Which has made it really hard to, like, want to do, stand up here. If I was in, like, if we were in New York or somewhere where there's more... places to actually be able to test stuff out with newer audiences, that'd be fun.
Right.
But yeah, I get so worried about anybody hearing that stuff again. Wow, we really didn't need anything to talk about today.
I told you.
Wow. Before I realize what time it is, but there was one thing I wanted to bring up that you said that I think is just so funny.
Okay.
And it's completely changed my perception of Halloween now.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
You know, the couples costumes? Can you tell the audience your theory on couples costumes?
Okay, yeah. I just said that I didn't understand, like, if you're a couple and you're, like, going to a party together, like a Halloween party or something like that, why you would dress as two separate things, like completely separate things, like why you wouldn't go as a couple's costume to me.
Like a joint costume.
And if somebody shows up if a couple shows up to something and they're not in a couple's costume, it makes me think that they're like fighting.
Yeah.
or they're like just not actually happy together.
Right.
If me and you went to a Halloween party, we'd be like, what are we dressing
up as?
What
are we dressing up as?
It wouldn't even be a question that we're going to go as something else.
Right.
And it's because we're so happy together, I guess.
I don't know. But we also like bits, though.
But that's just, I guess that's where my brain disconnects from other people, is that like I would want to figure out something funny that we could both go as.
Yeah.
Something I go as myself isn't going to be as funny as if it's partnered with something.
Right. But it has changed my, I'm like, I disagreed with you. Like,
yeah,
I'm like,
you were like, no.
I'm like, I never think of that. I don't think that exists. Anyway, I was thinking about that that night. And it made me laugh so much because I'm like, oh, I don't think I can unsee this now. Because now I see, like, if I see a couple in two different costumes, I think there was a joint costume, and then one person put it on, and then the girl or the guy, whoever is upset, walks in a new costume. Yeah. And it's going, well, I'm going as this. And like, I think you were the one who, like, the other guy was just like an egg, or like he was bacon. He was like, I guess I'm just bacon now by myself, and you're a cheerleader. Great.
That
No. I
sounds great.
wanted to be bacon.
I wanted to be just bacon.
I wanted
You're
to be
right.
just jelly.
Toast and jelly.
Just toast and jelly, that's
all I
me.
wanted to be. I didn't need a peanut butter at all.
It's so funny just to think that if you see some couple now without matching costumes,
Yeah.
that they got in a fight.
Yeah.
And that it changed last minute, and one of them didn't know until they were just about to come.
Yeah. Especially like celebrities and stuff. I think it's so weird to me to
Because
like.
they have the money.
Yeah, and a lot of celebrities will just do matching costumes. Like if you, okay, especially if you are posting on Instagram in the same picture.
Yeah.
If you post by yourself
Yeah.
and you're just a separate costume from everybody,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
But if you're posting I'm sorry, but Justin Bieber and
I was
Hailey
gonna
Bieber
say, yeah.
posted a picture together where he was like a kid from a movie. He was dressed as some kid from a movie,
Yeah.
and she was dressed as Princess Diaries, and they were in the same picture together,
Yeah.
and they posted that, and it's like, how does that go together?
Which in my mind, maybe they were both two kids from a movie or
Princess
something.
Diaries isn't like a kid from a movie though. It's not. He was dressed as like a movie cover, and she was dressed as like it didn't make
as
any
Anne
sense.
Hathaway
to
in
me.
Princess Diaries.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either. But I just think their day-to-day wardrobe that's exactly what it looks like. You know, like when she was all dolled up
Yeah.
for her event. If you look up Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber,
Yeah,
it should come up with
her donut event.
her donut.
Yeah.
She's all dolled up, and he's wearing like flops, shorts. a gray sweater,
A hoodie that's half zipped but then tied with his hood over his hat, and like it's just
he
doesn't
looks
make
a
any
disaster.
sense.
That's what you look like when you don't match costumes in a
Yeah.
Halloween with your significant other.
Yeah, which like makes sense for them because they're always just disasters. Like
yeah.
he's never dresses for her or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what made me think of it. I was like, I don't understand why you would post something in the same picture
Yeah.
and be completely opposites. Like not. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense together.
Like, and not saying that these people were in fights. I'm not saying they were not in fights, but like just as an example, we had one friend that went as a really great Ernie costume.
Yeah.
A really solid Ernie costume.
Yeah.
He looked like Ernie from Bert and Ernie.
Yeah.
And his significant other was just like a fairy.
Yeah.
And it looked like she was like, oh, I could just wear. I'm just gonna put this on. Like took off her Bert costume.
Yeah. It was like, never mind.
Well,
You know what?
looks
Never
like no
mind.
fairy again. So
I'll just wear last year's costume. It's fine.
yeah, we're last year's costume. No, I'm actually a fairy now. So
Yeah, that's what it makes me think of.
yeah, it's really funny. I can't unsee it now.
If you disagree or have another opinion, please email us.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate. My original opinion that I was swayed from was I just think people can go dress up whatever they want to dress up as, unless it's like a hey, let's have a costume party, or like, let's go as something. I remember going. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go as this. Like I remember being in a relationship and going to a Halloween party and going, no, I want to be this. Like this is what I want to be. And there's
But do you think you'd still do that now? Even with me? Like if we went to a Halloween party, would you be like, what am I going to go as? Or would you...
I think it's different with you because I think that most other couples costumes, they always have to be cutesy.
Right.
I don't like cutesy couple costumes.
Right.
But I know that you and me would always make it a bit.
Yeah.
And that's what would make it so funny. And I would
Right.
love to do that. So I was like, because it's even funnier if someone does something funny and then
Yeah.
someone else comes in and is hilarious with them.
Yeah.
I like that. So it's like, what are we going to go as?
Yeah, maybe it's just because we're comedy focused.
Yeah.
We're funny
And we like
focused.
doing bits and stuff. And
So maybe that's where my brain is. But yeah,
Yeah.
it just I can't understand. I can't grasp the
But I've been on both
concept.
sides. I've done couples costumes and I've done and I found a way to make that funny. Like my ex and I, she wanted to go as Katniss Everdeen,
Yeah.
and instead of going as the guy, whatever
Yeah.
the guy's name, I went as Effie. I went in a
Right.
big dress with makeup all over my face. I
Yeah.
thought that was so funny. So that was sort of like a couple's costume, but I found a way to make it funny. Mm-hmm. But I've also done the opposite where I just was like, well, I'm dressing up as this no matter what.
Right.
And then they're like, but we should do that. I'm like, and I go, you can do that. And it's not a fight. I'm like, I'm doing this.
Right.
I'm excited for this one. But now, yeah, I can't unsee that they're not in a fight. That like, oh no, there was another costume at home that one of you didn't wear.
Yeah.
And I like to think of which one that was.
Yeah.
Were you supposed to be princesses together or Bert and Ernie's?
Yeah. Yeah. Funny.
All right.
You want to wrap it up?
You want to wrap it up and slap it up?
You want to slap it up first, or do you want to wrap it up first?
Wrap it up first.
Okay, let's wrap it up first.
Welcome to Samurai.
Whoops.
No. Whoops.
This has been Sam and Rye Do Talking.
I'm Sam.
Oh.
She's right.
Everybody loves your podcast this week. Everybody.
That's
so funny.
great. Good reviews.
Yeah, getting good reviews.
We're at Sam and Rye Do Things at everything.com.
You can check us out on Facebook,
Gmail.
Instagram,
Text message if you know us.
Patreon.
Facebook.
Email us at samandrydothings.gmail. I don't know. All right.